Welcome back to another episode of The Review, where we are carrying on with our 9 tips from The Art of War, or no, The War of Art by Steven Pressfield. I read both books,
Did
and
you?
that makes it tough. Yeah. I
Did you
read The
read
Art of War.
what is it? Do the work? That's the other one, right?
No. I haven't read that one, but I
Oh,
read The Art of War, the actual war
well,
book,
Sun Tzu's
and then
book.
reading The War of, yeah. And then
Yeah.
it's just backwards. It's like, oh my goodness. And I thought they were gonna flow together. I actually did download the Steven Pressfield one. It's in my backlog to get to it. So, but yeah, this is gonna be a good one. I like the War of Art, and I'm especially happy to get into the next one. But so as we carry on with our series, harness procrastination. How are we gonna harness procrastination, Mike?
All right. So bear with me on this one because this one's a stretch. I get people look at me odd when I talk about this.
Okay.
Okay. And I'm a person. I confessed early on in this series that resistance has whooped me all over the field.
Okay.
It's had me coming and going for most of my life. Procrastination, I often joked, was my superpower. I could put things off so long that I would develop so much anxiety. Eventually, I wouldn't do a great thing. It's just like, I just get a pee on my chest for procrastination. With everything, I mean, I put everything off. Simple, like take the trash out. I'll get it an hour, or I'll get it 2 hours, and it's 4 or 5 hours. But anyway, so one of the things that I learned is that, and I think about this, and anybody out there that is a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu fan or practitioner, please don't string me up for this. Okay. But I imagine when people are practicing Jiu-Jitsu, they get together and they do what they call rolling, right? It's a flow practice where they're grappling and they're rolling around on the floor, practicing holds and whatnot. We can take the power of resistance and we can learn how to use it, pull it in close to us and roll with us. Oftentimes
Yep.
in jiu-jitsu, a person may be on their back and you may think, oh man, this person's mounted, they're done for, but jiu-jitsu teaches you that in that moment you can take and you can harness what's working against you and you can use it to, basically choke your opponent out.
100%.
So we can use procrastination to choke resistance out through preparation. It's not that you wait to the last minute to start working, but
Okay.
I have a deadline coming up in 2 weeks. I'm not sitting down 2 weeks ahead of time. I got 30 minutes today. I'm working on this. But what I am doing is I am thinking about it every now and then. What am I going to do? What steps am I going to take? It's all real abstract. And then because the reality is that I probably have about 10 other projects on my plate that are due before then. If I stop to work on something else 2 weeks from now, it delays what I need done right now because I probably put it off for 2 weeks,
That
But
makes
so
sense.
so there's a give and take to it. You have to learn how to roll with it and how to flow with it because you can't just say I'm going to wait till the day before my deadline to start working with it. You have to pull it in close to you. You have to grapple with it. And then you have to take it and you got to choke resistance out by sitting down and then finally doing the work. You can't just play with it the whole time. You got to sit down and do it. But we're taught that procrastination is a bad thing, but we can use it to be well prepared so that when we sit down to work on a task, to exercise our creativity, we maximize that moment. We're not sitting there for 30 minutes like this thinking, man, what am I going to write? Because I sit down and I know what I'm going to write, so I'm getting it done. I'm sitting there at 5 o'clock in the morning because I got my plan, and I prepared for 2 weeks putting thought into this and forming ideas. And yet it doesn't come out perfect. There's still draft processes and things like that have to go on, but you're ready to work because you've prepared yourself, so you have taken that procrastination and you have basically, made it your tool rather than making it your opponent.
Yeah, well, and I think that it's even deeper because you're talking about prioritizing procrastination,
Yeah.
which is beautiful, right? Because if you do it efficiently enough, it doesn't really feel like procrastination, even though it kind of is, because you outlining the things that need to be done, putting first things first. I think that's the hardest part is figuring out what needs to go first, and then benchmarking from there.
Absolutely.
Because there are a lot of things that come across my desk and through my email where I'm the type I like to respond back right away just because I hate it when somebody doesn't respond back to my emails because I'm trying to plan, and how I plan mentally is I'm like, okay, if they ain't responding, I need to find another course of action to make this thing happen. I mean, that's just where my mind defaults to.
I'm the same way. I am
That's how
exactly the
productive.
same.
Yeah. I'm like, I love a no. I love a I love a I don't know. I don't know is better than silence because I'm not even sure if you got the information or what happened, right?
Isn't that the
And then,
worst thing when you send somebody an email and you don't even know if they got it? You don't want to email them to see if they got it because you're like, I don't want to be pestering them, you know.
yeah,
But I don't know if you got it because sometimes stuff goes in a junk mail. We all have that person that contacts and be like, hey, I tried to email you a month ago. You didn't get it. Oh no, it's in my spam folder for some reason. You know, so you're second guessing yourself and overthinking it. Dude, I go through that all the time.
and it's a hard balance too because you'll have the people that you know procrastinate all the time. You
Yeah.
have the people that you know they click the button without actually completing the task, which it also it's a test of empathy and at the same time a test of will because you still need to go check up on things and still need to go look at things in an objective way and not be subjective towards this person even though that you know that they are we call them something else in the military but you call them it's you know that they a bag of tricks
Yeah.
and it's one of those things where you sitting at the table looking at this person and it'll be a meeting about the thing that you emailed them about and you talk to them about in the hallway and you sit in this meeting watching them fumble talk about how oh yeah we didn't really that's what happened. You sure? But the other problem is this person outranks you by 2-3 ranks.
Yeah.
So this could be a whole colonel, this could be a lieutenant colonel, a major, whatever. It could be a general, and you fed them the information, but they didn't. You know what I'm saying? And then it's
Yeah.
got you questioning yourself, like, do I really want to do this? Like, if I got to deal in this clown world, you know what I'm saying? But it's one of those
Most
things where,
leadership is weak, bro. You know that from
uh,
where you're at. Most leadership is weak.
yeah, well, and that's the problem, man. And but you can't even say that because
Mm-mm.
then it becomes weaker because they use their ego to try to fix everything and they try to
Yeah.
bruise through the things instead of looking at it objectively of like, hey, how can we come up with realistic solutions for these things, right? Who is having these problems and how do we? But that takes work, right? You've got to harness your procrastination
Absolutely.
because we all have procrastination, and
Yes.
you have to walk away from the delusion of thinking that you're a perfect person or executing like you're a perfect person or showing everyone that you're a perfect person because hey, my bad, let me get to that, I'm gonna sit with that goes a long way. Like I have a lot of respect for one of the generals that we have here. She gets to a point where she's like, okay, yeah, my bad, let me look more into this because I'm not sure what you're talking about, and then I'll get back to you and then we can have this conversation again,
I need
because
to
there's just
develop
no
that
way
skill.
she can know everything. Huh?
I need to develop that skill because like there's a lot of times like my staff will bring me papers, forms, letters, we're all the time writing stuff, putting stuff out, and they'll bring it to me and they'll look at me and I'll look at it in that moment and I'll be like, yeah, that's good. And then later on I'm sitting at my desk and I'm like, oh no, that looks bad. I hope they hadn't put that out already. Yeah. So yeah. Like you
Yeah.
was talking about with somebody ranking above you. I always read my staff meeting notes because I'm scared that's going to happen to me, that I'm going to get asked about something in a meeting and I'm not going to know, and they're going to be like, "Well, we sent it to you in the staff notes. You don't read the notes."
Yeah, that's real, and that's one thing. That's the beautiful part about being around so many great leaders and so many not so great leaders is the fact that you get to see what you can do, especially at my age. I think there's a significant age gap. Like you can almost be my pops, right? Um, there's a
Oh, come on.
significant there's a significant age gap. Nah, but there's a significant age gap, but it's beautiful because I look at you as a mentor in a lot of ways. because you mentor me through a lot of the issues that you've gone through, and I get to see those live action, and you talk about your story and all those different things, but they help me put the pieces together to be better, because it's like, okay, if they reading, if they studying, if they checking out new books, if they're growing, what does that mean I should be doing in my lane? You know what I'm saying? And that changes lives, right? Information that you gave me years back about the roach poison or whatever. Remember when I was trying to decon that house and
Oh
do all
yeah.
that?
Uh-huh.
That changed somebody else's life because I was able to tell them and guide them in the right direction. Because after I did that, it all went away.
Yeah.
It was no longer there. I was like, oh, okay, there we go.
Don't
It's like
nobody
it
call
really
me
worked.
promotion advice.
Man, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. But it
Oh,
worked.
but hey,
So
you
it
know
was
what?
good.
I don't mean to I don't mean to interrupt you, but I mean, there's in the Bible it talks about iron sharpening iron. Because there are so many ways in my life I view you as a mentor to me, because you have made me challenge me to dig better into things and to be better at what I do. Like when I do this right here, this isn't part of my professional development. This is what I enjoy doing. Like I enjoy conversations with people like yourself because you push me to be better.
That's
So
awesome.
I appreciate the compliment.
Likewise. Likewise, brother. As we wrap this one up, we appreciate y'all tapping in. You know what I'm saying? I'm Tommy, and this is Coffee. And
I do the heart thing. Where's that?
that's what they do with that emoji. Actually, just came out. That's actually kind of
Yeah,
hilarious.
it looks more like an apple, maybe. I
It
can't even.
does, don't it? But we appreciate y'all. We'll catch y'all in the next episode. We're gonna talk about professionals and amateurs. I believe that the amateur plays for fun and the professional plays for keep. But I want y'all to be able to bridge that gap of becoming an expert and why you should become an expert and not necessarily say an amateur. Stay tuned. We appreciate y'all.